Now that we have talked a lot about color photography and all that goes into it, I want to talk to you a little bit about black and white photography. Black and white photography is now as easy as just dropping the saturation in post or popping on a filter. But to take great black and white photos, it's good to understand what colors and exposures make a great black and white photo in the first place. For a long time, when film was the more common medium for taking photos, you had to choose between color or black and white film. The benefit of black and white film was that it was much easier to develop yourself in a darkroom, and overall less expensive due to the chemicals you needed and many other things. It was also a loved style of shooting by many photographers to do portraits and landscapes. The idea being that you are less distracted by the colors and really just look at the details of the faces or landscapes. Today, some camera manufacturers allow you to select a mode in which you can shoot in black and white. Some newer digital cameras even only shoot in black and white. Now this might seem pointless to you since you can simply import a photo and bring down the saturation and boom, you have a black and white photo. What you are missing here is that there's a lot more that goes into how that black and white image looks. When it comes to editing black and white, the only difference is that there's no color. Contrasts, highlights, shadows, white level, black level, all still apply. And what you'll find is that something like an overexposed sky or a color starting to look unnatural doesn't matter as much. You then begin looking more at the textures and contrasts much more closely, really paying attention to the lighting. You can also go much more extreme with some of your settings to really make the image dynamic and have lots of contrast. To this day, some of my favorite landscapes are those of Ansel Adams that were shot entirely in black and white. Now, of course, having colors might make an image pop more, maybe seem more exciting, but black and white has a special characteristic to it that makes you focus more on what's in the image than just enjoying the pretty colors. Here are some of our favorite black and white portraits, which I think show you how much can be done with black and white photography. How by not having to pay attention to color palettes and just on what you are seeing makes a big difference. I personally like both, but in this color image, your eyes immediately drawn to that red because the color just stands out. While in the black and white version, you take in more, looking around the image, and granted, because of the composition, your eye is still drawn to that singular point, but you're less focused immediately on it. It takes time that you can scan the image and see more. So while actually taking photos in black and white, focus on the composition and the lighting. Not just if everything is exposed or not, but what parts of your image are exposed. What is dark? What is bright? Pay attention to the fall off of light into the background. What are the textures in your image? When you start editing it, you will be able to make those shadows much darker and those highlights much brighter than if shooting color where they might start to look strange. I will say that noise is still an issue with black and white photography, but is much more forgivable and can look much nicer than grainy color photos. I highly recommend every now and then switching your photos over to black and white and playing with the settings in there. You'll be surprised by how different black and white photos can look when you start adjusting things on your computer.